Delta Force. It took a lot of inspiration from Battlefield 2042, from its game modes, specialists, and general gameplay for Warfare mode. But in my opinion, 3 months after its release, it ended up being a slop version of COD's Ground War game mode rather than a competitor for a real Battlefield game. And we're speaking about Battlefield 2042 here, a universally agreed upon worst Battlefield game ever created. But even that game is still Battlefield in aspects where Delta Force completely failed. The name is Ace. Welcome back to another Battlefield video. Delta Force has been around for months now and basically lost all its momentum, even though it used blueprints from many other games and learned basically nothing from the mistakes of those titles. And also it chose to ignore the good aspects of the games it decided to copy. Back in November in this Battlefield 1 video, I went over the so-called pushback Delta Force received from some people in the Battlefield community, who were outspoken about it and basically declared that Delta Force is a Chinese 2042 copy and that it sucks. So in that video, as a big enjoyer of our beloved combined arms genre, I explained to people why Delta Force being a possible, and I mean here possible competitor to Battlefield 2042 was a good thing. If you feel like watching that video, I'll leave the link in the description. Basically, the TLDR of that video was that we should accept more games that aren't from EA DICE entering our genre and are trying their hands at creating their version of a so-called Battlefield game. Furthermore, I gave my advice in that video to people to try out and give it a chance, and if it sucked, they can just uninstall and carry on with Battlefield instead. But it was important to me that we at least show interest in our genre being shown elsewhere, and I would say now with complete confidence that we did actually do that. We tried Delta Force, we gave it a chance, and some of us stood, some of us left, but in my opinion the game just wasn't Battlefield, and was more of a fake curated experience a la COD's Ground War game mode with completely broken specialists that made Battlefield 2042 ones look like child's play. It's honestly just COD Ground War hero shooter with cheaters and SBMM, and inherited, other than perhaps the bad maps, nothing from Battlefield 2042. And by nothing, I mean none of the so-called Battlefield aspects. But what exactly are those aspects is what we will discuss next, gamers. Just a quick reminder, if you enjoy my channel and you want me to provide more content for you, then please consider leaving a like, comment and subscribe for future Battlefield content. I post 2 to 3 videos a week on Battlefield and don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Thank you for your time. So what are those Battlefield aspects I mentioned? The first big one that Delta Force absolutely does not have is randomness. What I mean exactly by this is the so-called Battlefield moments of random shit just happening in your, 500th match of Orbital in Battlefield 2042. You can load up Battlefield 2042 or honestly any Battlefield and play the exact same map every day, and every single one of those matches will have something in them that you experience that just only happens in a few matches here and there. Maybe you roadkill 5 people with EOD bot on Operation Locker, or you solo capped C-Flag with just your sidearm since you had no ammo in your main gun. In Battlefield 2042, perhaps you stood alive alone on a sector as defender, you took out a massive wave of enemies, your squadmates just watching you waiting for that spawn because you're in combat. They finally are able to spawn on you after you wiped out the enemy team, they start dropping you medpacks and ammo and you feel like a complete badass. Yes gamers, I am speaking about those moments, and I think this types of moments is one of the main reasons people play Battlefield in the first place. But this randomness can only exist in a very organic environment which isn't curated by AI or SBMM or horrible gunplay that purposely, and I mean purposely, eliminates these things from happening. These Battlefield moments are completely non-existent in Delta Force. Delta Force, on the other hand, at least in my experience, is basically the exact same every match. I will load up any of its horrific maps and 9 out of 10 times I will be a defender. I know that, for example, if I'm defending on Ascension, I can only defend from the mountainside up top. I will go there, the heli will spam us basically from base. As the enemy team is approaching the mountainside, they will engulf the entire mountain into kilometers of smoke that will be followed by flash drones from Hecklo. And as I'm waiting for all these things to expire so I can finally shoot a bullet at a person, I'm gonna get wallhack spotted by Luna from down the beach side, and then I'm gonna get shot in the head by a sniper rifle because we basically have no cover on the mountain. If this is your experience in Delta Force as well, then just let me know in the comment section below, because this is exactly what happens to me every time I play Delta Force. Another example could be another map so we remain fair and a different sector. Let's say we are attackers on trench lines and we are in the second sector in the trenches. For many people this is arguably the best map in the game. So we are really fair here using the example of the best map in the game. We are, let's say, medic, and we already know that we cannot actually go on top of the trenches because all of the snipers who camp in the city sector, which is basically the next sector on the map, which has nothing to do with the trenches, or there is a Luna on the antenna, yes, I mean the antenna, which is in their home base, basically the final sector of the map. They're spamming it with sniper rifles that have a million miles per hour velocity, so you cannot dodge them. They're basically hit scan. So we know we cannot play in the trenches. So keep in mind here, we're already being curated into just one experience. We can only play in the trenches because it's just not viable to play on top of them. Okay, fine. So we are in the trenches. Let's say we are attacking B2 sector. The only possible good position would be on top of the trench, on that sector, on that little head glitch roof, which overlooks into the point. To even safely peek into that head glitch position, you need to smoke the right side, otherwise you're gonna get flanked or shot by that Luna on the antenna. So you need to be medic also or assault to even perform this play. And this is basically how most of the Delta Force gameplay works. It's all about this super powerful head glitch positions, and anything beyond than that is just not very viable way to play, guys. That's how Delta Force is played. Super powerful head glitch positions. And this, if you're watching my Battlefield 2042 video this entire time, that's just not what I'm doing in this video. It's more organic. I'm just moving around the map. I take a position, I kill a couple people, I try to help my teammates, and then I move around the map. I hope you can see my point of view here, gamers. We are forced into playing a certain way in Delta Force, and we lack actual skill expression via map knowledge or outsmarting the enemy. There is no outsmarting the enemy when we are wall hacked every 30 seconds. There is no outsmarting the enemy when we know that all the enemies, and including us, are just sitting on super broken, overpowered head glitches. There's no skill expression here. It's just seeing somebody on a head glitch and then you're repeating the exact same thing when you're in that position. That's it. That's Delta Force gunplay in a nutshell in Warfare mode. I'm sorry, I will die on this hill. This is the best way to play Delta Force, and that is absolutely fucking embarrassing. Now listen, before you say anything, I understand map design is a problem here, and it's a big reason why Delta Force plays that way. But Battlefield 2042 maps are notorious for being bad as well. But what actually makes a difference here is, in my opinion, the specialists, guys, namely the sniper ones and medic with unlimited smoke. We just don't have wallhack spotting in Battlefield 2042, and we don't have blinding drones that blind you for like 5 to 6 seconds, even if you don't look at them. Honestly, the specialists in Battlefield 2042 look mild in comparison. I'm not kidding, guys, and Delta Force ones made me realize how out of hand this can get when you really overload them with something. I mean, it basically becomes a hero shooter at that point. We just don't have that disgusting hero shooter feeling in Battlefield 2042. I'm sorry, we just don't. They're super cringe and annoying Battlefield 2042, but they're not hero shooter cringe. They're just not. We're simply not finding some flash drones, electric arrows, and scorpion grappling hooks in Battlefield 2042 like it's fucking ridiculous. Like, what's next? Am I gonna get nano boosted by Ana in Delta Force? Like, give me a fucking break, dude. You know, this is what happens when you get a game that just copies everything from everyone else. We don't get a Battlefield competitor, we get a slop Call of Duty curated ground war experience with hero shooter characters on some of the worst map designs I had ever seen. It has no original bone in its body, and because it's a game that's built from basically no prior predecessors, like the old Delta Force games that are from Nova Logic, a different studio, and it's only built on chasing from the meta games like COD and the hero shooter genre, yeah, you just get a game that's a slop version of those genres. The predictability of you knowing exactly how you will die in Delta Force or how you will lose the match is the exact same feeling you get when you're playing a hero shooter, like Overwatch. Okay, they have Widow and Pharah in Overwatch, okay, we lost the game, GG. Yeah, that's the type of feeling you get in Delta Force. You don't believe me? Okay, let's take the nukes on last sector gameplay. You open the scoreboard, and if you see they have 5 people who have nukes and you have 2 people who have nukes, GG, you basically lost the match. No, I'm that serious, this is how it works. Now point to me in Battlefield 2042 where we have such deciding factors. We just don't have them because it's not a curated experience. In its generic body, Battlefield 2042 remains a Battlefield game that is organic and that is more fun than Delta Force. This is why Battlefield 2042 defeats Delta Force. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. You know what to do. Leave a like and subscribe. Bye bye.